Hi everyone, Mike from AI Technology and Design, welcoming you back to another edition of 30 Days of Technology. Today we're going to talk about something super cool, and that is of course a projector and how that can be used to turn any room of your home into a theater room. And I'm going to explain how you can do that using Samsung's short throw projector technology. Before we really dive into it, I want to take a couple minutes to explain to you a little about projectors and why you might want one in the first place. The simplest reason as to why you might want one in the first place is for about the cost of a 75 to 80 inch TV, you can have up to 120 inches. So you have a huge amount of screen space available, and it's a really encompassing experience that really envelops you in whatever story is being told. The challenge is traditional projectors go quite a bit of ways back from the screen. So there are issues we have to manage in our business. We have to manage the height on the ceiling because it has to be a certain angle to hit the screen. How far back it's going to go, and the biggest one is how the heck are we going to get power and video signal back there? And that's the biggest inhibiting factor why more people don't choose a bigger picture that a projector can offer them. Well, what I really love about this particular projector and short throw projectors in general is a lot of those problems go away. A short throw projector is very different than a traditional projector. If I'm in my theater room and someone walks by the projector, there are shadow puppets all over the screen. It blocks the screen. Well, a short throw projector goes only a few inches away from the screen, and it sits on a cabinet or even on the floor. So you don't have to run a ton of wires all the way back, number one. And number two, you don't have to go through some of the painful points that we had just talked about, trying to get the right height, trying to get the right distance, and trying to make it all work in a specific space. So short throw projectors are incredibly flexible, they're incredibly easy, and they allow anyone to turn any part of their home into a giant immersive screen. At a really high level, Samsung's doing some really amazing things in the video space. Their televisions are world class, and they are very much leading the way. The Frame TV by Samsung has now become the new go-to for the design community, for people who are looking for a less intrusive technology experience. I mean, they've done an amazing job. So it's no surprise whatsoever that they've taken a lot of the same principles and logic they used to develop some of their other awesome video products and put it into a short throw projector called the Premiere. Here's what I love about the Premiere. First of all, it's a 4K projector, so it's going to give you crystal clear picture quality, and you're going to see every little detail. The second thing has to do with the brightness. Now, how we measure brightness in the home theater world are something called lumens. That's the light output of a projector. Here's why it's important. Because not everyone has a dedicated theater space for their projector. So there is something called ambient light. And if you've ever been to someone's house who has a projector and they've opened the blinds, the picture just washes right out. So there are some great options to fix that. There's a company called Screen Innovations that makes a projector screen called Black Diamond, but that's simply not feasible in a lot of homes. A lot of people just want to shoot it onto the wall. So what's great about these projectors is they're 2200 lumens, which is incredibly bright. This projector is a laser projector, and there are a lot of advantages to owning a laser projector. So traditional projectors use a high intensity bulb. Now, this is great because it creates a high intensity image, but the problem with bulbs is eventually they burn out. So you have to factor in a few things: the cost of replacement bulbs, plus the inconvenience. It's Friday night, you have your friends over, or maybe you're coming over for a Super Bowl party and that bulb burns out. You're waiting a few days to get another one unless you happen to have another one in stock. So there's that. The other issue has to do with heat. A traditional bulb creates a lot of heat in the room. So if you're in a confined space like a theater room, that really matters. And to go with that, that heat has to be dealt with in the projector somehow. So many of them have fans. And granted, they've gotten a lot quieter than they used to be, but not hearing the hum of that fan having to cool down that bulb is really great. And the last thing is, because of the longevity you get from a laser projector, it's a very strong value proposition. There's a couple other things I really like about it. You can make a 120 or 130 inch projector screen on any wall of your home, which means if you do a cost analysis, this projector is about $3,500 in Canada versus say a 70 or 80 inch TV. It starts to tilt in your favor once you go over a certain point. Now granted, you'll need some other stuff like sound equipment to match that TV experience, but Let's move on to the next part of this conversation, the sound quality of this projector. I'm going to be very honest with you, a lot of projectors have really poor quality sound. They're great for when you're doing a PowerPoint, but it's not really good for watching movies. The dialogue isn't super clear, and you can't really hear a lot, especially if you got one of those annoying fans creating a lot of noise as well. Samsung has what they considered a 4.2 channel solution to that. So it's an encompassing sound. Is it surround sound per se? No, but it's a lot more immersive in experience than traditional projector sound. And if you don't happen to have a sound system or a sound bar, or you're watching something in your back deck, not a problem. You will be able to get started right out of the box without needing anything else. And on the subject of not needing anything else, it's also a smart TV per se. So all of the intelligent functions that are in the Samsung televisions are also in this projector as well. Your Netflix, your Disney, your Paramount, all the other great streaming services you already love are built into this as well. The advantage for you is numerous. You don't have to have a bunch of external boxes plugged into this. So you don't have to find places to keep it or deal with wires or anything else. You can literally plug this thing in, and other than a power cable, there's nothing else to talk about there. So very clean, very easy, and absolutely loaded. I mentioned earlier that you can move this projector around. Now, it's not technically a portable projector. It's not designed to be carried around and used from place to place the way some of the smaller projectors from Samsung are. However, it's really light, it's not very big, and it's literally nothing to pick it up and move it from one room to another. So as an example, you might do like we did and turn your living room into a theater and a movie room. You might have some equipment in there, you know, Blu-ray player, something like that, some sound equipment, whatever. But then in the summer, you might decide, hey, we want to watch a movie outside on our back deck. Not a problem. Just unplug it, take it outside. As long as you got Wi-Fi outside, you're still going to get all the streaming as well. So it's not a dedicated portable projector, but it is very portable, very easy to move around, and very flexible. So if you're going away for the weekend or whatever, awesome, awesome, awesome. Stick it in your suitcase and take it with you. It's that easy to do. So I bought this projector, I've taken it out of the box, I've put it on a cabinet. Is there anything else I need to get started? The answer is, yeah, you do need a few things, and some things are optional, some things you need. You're definitely going to want some sort of screen. You can project it on a wall, but a white wall is not an ideal place for it, and I'll tell you why. Projector screens have all sorts of prisms and rods inside the screen material to help reflect light, to make the whites brighter, to make the black levels blacker. And a lot of paint that we use in our house just makes it all look kind of washed out and fuzzy looking. So it's not the best option out there. So even a basic pull down screen is a vast improvement over a traditional wall, which is convenient but doesn't look great. So that's recommendation number one. If you really want to get into this, put yourself up a proper screen. The second has to do with sound quality. Now, as far as projector sound goes, this is one of the better ones. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking what Samsung's done with their sound. It's a great option right out of the box. However, part of the reason we want that big screen is for it to be a completely immersive experience and put us right in the middle of the action. So when we start to get into a surround sound system, or even like a Sonos Arc with some surround speakers, that's huge. That really gives us that big picture, big sound that you would expect going to a proper movie theater, and you can replicate that in your own home as well. Beyond that, there's not much else you need. There really isn't. You may hook up a Blu-ray player or something like that to it, but other than that, most of the content you're ever going to use is built right into it. It's ridiculously easy to use, and unlike a traditional projector, I don't have to cop out, $750 for a long length HDMI cable and pay an electrician to come to my house to put a plug in my ceiling. And. So it's so much easier to go this route than a traditional route. And that's one of the reasons I love this projector so much.